I'd like to welcome each one of y'all to our regular school board meeting here for the Plainview ISD. We are missing one board member. Mr. Salazar will not be with us, but we do have a quorum. And if you will, pray with me. Father God, we thank you for life. Thank you for blessings. Thank you for family. Thank you for this district. And we just come to you before you this evening to ask you for your direction as we continue to move forward. And everything, all the decisions that are made is towards our children, our staff, and our community, Father God. Just give us the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of what we need to do for this district. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We stand with us with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. All right.
I believe our first thing is a public hearing on the school financial rating system.
All right, Mrs. Chapo will cover the first financial rating that we received, and the first report is the equivalent of the STAR test, but for our business operations.
Okay. Our district score is a 98, and this is on 23-24 data that we're reporting on 24-25 school year. So the maximum score is 100, but a passing score is a 70. There is 21 criteria that they have indicators on, and it's mainly all financial, our AFR, everything that comes through our PEMS, our annual audits come through the system, so they can indicate these scores. Right now, the least maximum score is number 12, which is our future debt requirements, which now that we have those bonds, that's going to continue to be an 8. But there's so many criteria in there, even payments of our bonds is another criteria, making those payments on time. So it's all financial, plus there's a lot of departments that are involved in this as well. So I just thank everyone for doing a great job and fulfilling the score of a 98.
And one of the big pieces on this report, of course, the 2 points for having bond debt, but at one point, we used to lose 2 points because we were considered to be above the state average with administrative staff. And so at this point, we don't lose 2 points. We are below the threshold for what the state considers the appropriate ratio of administrative staff to instructional staff. So we got all 10 points for that indicator, which again shows that our priority and focus is on campus and classroom, and the state of Texas, through its own rating system, recognizes that.
Any questions?
So if there was no debt, then we would be probably 100% then, correct?
Yes, but we're going to have debt for many years.
Thanks.
We went 40 years with no debt, so.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding us, Ms. Chapa.
Okay. There are no further comments on that. We move on to, is there any public comments, citizen comment?
No, ma'am.
Our first item then is the approval of the 25-26 Plainview Junior High. Oh, we need to get
The
all
report.
the reports.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll let you do your award first. That's always exciting.
All right, we have the Bulldog, we have 2 Bulldog Award winners. And so I'd like to ask Domingo to come up, and we want to recognize Domingo for his amazing work that he does at the Early Learning Center. And did you bring any fans with you? You got 2 coming up. You got 2 coming up right there.
Yeah.
So if we can get y'all off front and center, we want to get a picture. I'll tell you, it was, when we saw, Mingo's name in, there was a day that the, superintendent leadership team met at the Early Learning Center. And as we were all going through classrooms and everything, there were some doors that were sticking. And so I sent, Scott and Manuel a message, hey, we got some doors that are sticking. And before, I even turned down the hall, Mingo had a screwdriver and he was taking the door and he was adjusting it. He already had the list and he was working on it. And that's what you find. He's always doing something to make the campus better. And, he's a blessing to have there. And always a great attitude, always smiling. And even the little dudes, they're always smiling when they see him and they know who he is. And so, again, just a big round of applause for the great work he does. All right, y'all gotta come up and take a picture. So,
While they get ready, I might add that y'all need to hear him play the accordion. He's an amazing accordion player.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Our next Bulldog Award winner, this one was really tricky because we tried to make it a surprise for this next Bulldog Award winner. And finally, we were coming down to the wire of when we had to, because our Bulldog Award winners, they get a check. And so we were coming down to the wire. And this Bulldog Award winner is the one that usually requests the checks. And so I was passing out of the office trying to move quickly. And our public information officer already had the checks ready, and finance was in, and it was going to be a big surprise. And so as I'm walking out of the office, I get stopped. And so Ms. Lucerio, our Bulldog Award winner, second one says, I don't have the name for the second check, Dr. Sanchez. And I need that name now because they need to print those checks. And if I don't get it done, then they're having to do it last minute. So I need to know who it is. And Danny won't tell me, no one will tell me. And so have y'all made up your minds? And I'm sweating. And I can't figure out how to get out of there. And so I'm like, Rosie, it's you. And so I was like, it's supposed to be a surprise. So she was happy and everything. And then, of course, Danny finds out that she found out, and she was like, why'd you tell her? And I'm like, it's like no one can keep a secret from her. So our second Bulldog Award winner, who keeps things going for the district, for my office, for the board. She arranges all of the travel for the board, and then with all the departments that I work with, she helps with those departments as well. And so please, well-deserved round of applause for Mrs. Lucerio for our second Bulldog Award winner. And you need to bring your immediate family up because you got the whole entourage here. So y'all come on up. Y'all coming up. We want to get y'all in the picture.
Yeah.
No, that is awesome. Bring them all up. Bring them all up.
Be up there.
How many years, Rosie, have you been with the district?
30 years.
That's what I thought.
That's awesome.
It seems like what's her name just retired not too long ago.
You get the little guy with his coffee too.
Yeah.
We see the favorite.
No.
And I'll put the public service announcement in for our public information officer. So people in the district, please find those people that are going above and beyond, that do outstanding work, and please nominate them. So that way, next month, we'll have another 2 Bulldog Award winners, and we'll bring them up and recognize them. And our Bulldog Award winners always lead the way in setting the standard in education in Plainview ISD. So proud of both of them.
Okay, next I have the report for the Plainview Education Foundation, and the gala was a huge success. It was a great time. I think everybody really enjoyed it. We had a huge turnout. Lots of help from Gretchen Massengill, Claudia Lara, Belinda Parker, Mandy Steen. There were so many. Tracy Dawson, a great leader for us. And so it was really a fun time. We enjoyed the entertainment, and we were able to raise $59,000.
Wow.
So,
It's impressive.
yeah, it was nearly double what we had in the past. So that was really awesome. We appreciate Plainview, and they're always are generous, and even the surrounding areas and businesses, we really appreciate that. So exciting things to come. Ms. Parker and Christy Ade at the city are working on a job fair for students who are not college bound. So that's going to be really exciting that they're getting that together. And then Chick-fil-A was a huge donor. They gave gift cards to every school, I believe, and those have all been delivered. And they can use those maybe for attendance or behavior, those kinds of things. And then the Plainview Area Endowment Association gave Plainview Education Foundation a $3,000 grant for all of the Gentex awards or prizes at Gentex. So it's really good to see everybody working together for the good of Plainview and our city, and all the associations and volunteers coming together. So it was a it was a big success. We appreciate everybody that helped and came out for that.
Okay, last on our list is our dual program video. The board has received a copy of our dual program report, but it's exciting to see the dual program in action. And so there are some tweaks we're going to make. So this is our, I'll say this is our final draft before we send out our published copy. And so Mrs. Hernandez will put the dual video up, and we're ready to go. And so this is a very special program that we are one of the few districts. We and Lubbock ISD are the only 2 in 17 that offer dual. So I want to be sure to go on the record. Plainview ISD and Lubbock ISD are the only 2 that offer true dual language.
Welcome to Plainview ISD, where learning goes beyond just academics. Here we are proud to offer
Okay. Something happened.
Thank you all, the principals that helped put those tables together. During the pause, I'll mention that.
If you need some time to work on it, we can go to the next. That's what happens when Mr. Jennings takes a day off.
We've heard the sound, so another sound, because they sent us the, didn't he send us the, I've seen that. Another sound. That's it. I think we just go into the business item.
If y'all would like, we'll give
Welcome to Plainview ISD, where learning goes beyond just academics. Here we are proud to offer our dual language program, an opportunity that empowers students to grow in both English and Spanish while building valuable skills for their future. In our dual language classroom, students learn content in 2 languages. This approach not only helps them become bilingual and biliterate, but also strengthens problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and cultural understanding.
One positive thing about being a dual language classroom is that students learn to think and communicate in 2 languages, which helps them become more confident and open-minded learners.
We love learning in 2 languages at North. Nos encanta aprender en 2 idiomas en North. We love learning in 2 languages at North.
The dual language program is more than learning another language. It's about opening doors to higher achievement, stronger cultural awareness, and endless opportunities. At Plainview ISD, we are proud of our dual language program. Together, we're preparing students to be tomorrow's leaders, bilingual, biliterate, and ready for the future.
We do have a second video. However, the person that's helping me with this videos, he is commuting from Lubbock. And unfortunately, when he was editing it for us, one of our parents, her mic fell with her shirt. So we are fixing that this week before we put it out to the public. But she said something so wonderful, and there are captions on there. So we do want to show y'all what she said, because this is her family's 3rd year in the program. We have one in pre-K and one in kindergarten, and it's been an amazing experience.
After 1 week, we noticed they start picking up words right away.
It's definitely going to be beneficial for their future.
But the blessing is that they're able to communicate with their parents and great parents.
And we are grateful that our own hometown has a dual language program.
I'm really grateful to be in a dual language program because whenever I grow up, I want to be a doctor. And if there's any patients who speak pure Spanish, I can help them do the job. Estoy muy agradecida a ser en el programa bilingüe porque cuando crezca quiero ser doctora y si tiene algunos que hablan puro español puedo ayudarle a hacer el trabajo.
When we first learned about the dual language program and we were weighing our pros and cons, the thing that appealed to us most about this program is the opportunity and the doors that will open for him in the future as he graduates and enters into the workforce.
Something that's so great about the dual language program is not only the opportunity that these kids are getting to learn a second language, but the opportunity that they're going to have in life, knowing the second language and kind of continuing this this learning in the second language. I have a 1st grader and a pre-Ker, and already the difference that it has made in their learning process is just crazy to watch. I mean, we learned to read in Spanish before we learned to read in English, and now my 1st grader is helping my pre-Ker with all of her work. And I cannot say enough good things about how great this program has been for my students.
Otro punto maravilloso de este programa bilingüe es que los estudiantes, claro, aprenden cómo hablar español, pero también aprenden cómo leerlo y escribirlo. Ya después ellos también van a aprender cómo hablar en inglés. Es algo muy grande donde ellos aprenden español y luego aprenden inglés.
I love that my daughter's in the dual language program because she's learning how to speak Spanish. She's learning her numbers in Spanish. She's learning all the letters in the alphabet in Spanish, and she's also understanding the language. And so I'm really proud of the program, and I'm really happy that the ISD offers it because it's also part of her retaining the culture that we came from, and I think that's amazing. And I think it's going to be a major benefit for her as she grows older and has a career that she's going to be able to speak both English and Spanish. So I'm really happy with the program and what it's doing for her.
So there's a few edits that we'll do. We'll get those launched. But again, I mean, we're really proud of the program. And as you can hear from the students who were speaking in their second language, some speaking English as their second language, and then some speaking Spanish as their second and one as her third language. So just very impressive. As we've always said, if you raise the bar, the students will reach it. And learning academics in 2 languages is a very high bar. And so during the workshop, you went through the preparation that teachers put in to be able to do that level of work with students. And so again, just hats off to all of our staff that work diligently in this effort, the level of planning that's necessary. And as Mrs. Wallace shared, the high level of instructional leadership needed from the principal to step into that role of leading instruction, supporting instruction, and being a solution finder with instructional faculty, motivating them, and I'll use Mrs. Wallace's words, getting dirty. You have to get dirty with the standards and the planning, so great job. All right.
Okay, I guess that's all of our reports and recognitions. We'll move on to business items. Approval of the 25-26 Plainview Junior High Local Improvement Plan.
All right. Mrs. Carrasco will come up and she'll share a few slides. Now, I want to be 100% clear that Plainview Junior High School is a C by the state accountability, but what we're always looking at is how do we do better? And so there are some things that under the federal accountability system, there are some adjustments that we're going to have to make in instruction to continue our work from C to B, and then ultimately from B to be on our way to A at junior high. And so Mrs. Carrasco will cover these.
Good evening, Board. The identification is targeted support. Under ESSA, campuses are identified for targeted support and improvement when one or more student groups perform below state established targets in areas such as academic achievement, growth, student success. Our high schools could be identified with their graduation rates or CCMR. The designation signals that the campuses must develop and implement a local improvement plan focused on addressing the specific needs of the identified groups. So at junior high, I first wanted to point out how many student groups the federal government does look at. They look at all of our different ethnicities. We have to have at least 10 students in that group to be evaluated. And at junior high, our 2 groups were Hispanic and continuously enrolled students. Continuously enrolled students are students who have maintained status in the district. For Hispanic, they were identified in academic achievement, and their target goal is 39% at meets. Then academic growth, their target is 64% to achieve growth. Student success, which is all of our domain 1 score, all-star test altogether, our target was 41%. Then for the continuously enrolled students, they are the same thresholds, but you'll notice that for math, for Hispanic, the target's 39, whereas the continuously enrolled students' target is 49%. Then 67% for academic growth and 48% for domain 1. So the state identifies the targets every 5 years. They'll adjust them, and they're based off of historical data is how they create those targets. So our goals for junior high are by May 2026, Plainview Junior High will increase the percentage of students achieving meets grade level on the Math Star assessment by 20% through targeted small group instruction, ongoing progress monitoring, and increased use of data-driven interventions. So we selected that 20% goal so that we're making sure that we meet that target that the state has established for us. The next goal is by 2026, May 2026, junior high will increase student attendance rates by 5% by implementing an attendance incentive program, regular monitoring of chronic absenteeism, and targeted outreach to students with high absence rates in order to maximize instructional time and support the campus goal of increasing Math Star achievement in the meets category by 20%. So we wanted to follow suit with the district initiatives of attendance, and we understand that if a student's in class, then that can help us meet that mathematic goal of 20%. And we're going to do that by monitoring through weekly PLC meetings, post-assessment data reviews, and reviewing attendance at least twice a month. It may be weekly, but we wanted to just say at least twice a month. Data sources are going to include benchmark assessments, classroom walkthrough data, progress monitoring tools, and attendance and discipline data. Our initial adjustments that we are going to implement, our administration and instructional specialists will provide bi-weekly classroom visits and feedback sessions to support teachers in implementing data-driven strategies that target the student weaknesses with the readiness standards. And then teachers will also participate in monthly collaborative planning meetings with coaches to refine lesson design. Some of the work that you saw and you participated with Ms. Wallace is the work that they will be doing at junior high. At the time, all teachers will participate in daily PLCs to collaborate and analyze student data, refine instructional practices, and implement strategies that directly support increasing the student achievement with our identified groups of Hispanic and continuously enrolled students. Then with staffing, we are partnering now with communities and schools to secure a dedicated staff member whose primary responsibility will be monitoring attendance data, providing student and family outreach, and supporting the campus in meeting the attendance goals that we've set. Our implementation timeline through TEA, we have to set our LIP strategies by November 14th, and then we will have ongoing adjustments and strategy meetings through STAR, April 2026. We have to seek board approval by March 2026, but we are seeking earlier approval so that y'all understand what things are happening at junior high, and we're taking initiative to do it well in advance than what TEA is requiring us to do. Then we'll evaluate all our data when STAR results are available in June 2026. Do you have any questions for me?
One of the key pieces, again, as I mentioned during the workshop, is Mr. Parker has requested the same level of training for his reading and mathematics faculty as Mrs. Wallace has had provided for her instructional faculty, and we're also working with intermediate. So now we're moving this to intermediate as well as junior high. And the areas that Mrs. Carrasco covered, when I have the opportunity every other week to sit down with Mr. Parker, he is clicking off what they're doing on their benchmark assessments, how they're doing, what they're doing next, and Mrs. Long is there, and we take notes, brainstorm strategies. He also goes over discipline, he goes over attendance, and so they have their act together. And then when I'm not there, Mrs. Long, Mr. Fitzgerald, and the coaches and specialists all gather with Mr. Parker and his team, and they work on the day in and day out. So there are a lot of eyes and a lot of support. And then Mrs. Carrasco is always very willing to help break down data and let them know where they're going, how they're doing on each of their benchmark assessments. And so it is a full team effort there, as it is with intermediate and our other campuses. So we just need your approval. So please, on behalf of the administration, I'll make the recommendation for your consideration and approval of the 25-26 Plainview Junior High Local Improvement Plan.
Board, any questions or comments? Not hearing none, do I entertain a motion for item number 1?
I so move we approve the 25-26 Plainview Junior High Local Improvement Plan.
All right, got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ms. Ray. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Item number 2 is consideration and approval of addition to the theory of action plan.
I felt that as opposed to just reading the 11 points on the adjustment or the addition to our theory of action, policy. If you'll remember, Dr. Trevino came in and we worked through the theory of action, which is earned empowerment, which means if we have faculty performing at the A level, and we take a hands-off approach and we empower them to do good work. And we do have faculty in the district who have earned that. Many of those faculty are some of our retired, rehired teachers who have come in and have brought their 30-plus years of experience to the district. And so they have earned that empowerment, and that is within policy. For our other faculty that are on their way to being an A, and we have work to do, what I present to y'all is the theory of pedagogy. Pedagogy, of course, is a academic term for the art of teaching children. And so under the theory of pedagogy, our focus is standards-based design. So as you experienced with Mrs. Wallace's facilitation, standards-based design begins with the standard. And you selected a standard from a set of standards that was considered to be a high priority standard because there are many questions asked. You broke down the standard, nouns, verbs, identified key aspects, identified what that looked like when you looked at the cover of the book, began describing what you're seeing, doing some predictive analysis, and then using textual evidence when you got to the foreword that, or the introduction that the author had written. So as you go through the key aspects of the standards-based design, and what I'm requesting for an addendum in addition to our theory of action policy is when we go from, what was it, 3 Ds and an F to a C and 2 Bs and an A, we took the time to evaluate what did we do differently? And how do we repeat that so that we create systemic success instead of random success? Random success, of course, is you get lucky and then you hope you get lucky the next year. Systemic success, however, is you carefully evaluate the key aspects of what brought you from where you were to where you are, to not just keep you there, but to use that as a springboard to where you want to go next. We want all our campuses to be A's, and we want the C's to be B's, and then ultimately to be A's. And so that's our work. So as you take a look at the key aspects, it's beginning with a standard. It's breaking down the standard. It's the collaboration between central office, campus instructional faculty, and the principal as the key person on campus that keeps the wheel going, that asks the questions, that ensures there's that space for creativity and planning so that teachers can make mistakes, correct the mistakes during the planning process before they stand in front of students. So when they stand in front of students, they have a better product and they learn from each other, as you witnessed in a couple of the videos that Mrs. Wallace shared with her ELAR faculty members and her mathematics faculty members. You also see that there is the part where the board fits in, which is the provision of instructional materials. And all of this isn't possible unless teachers have adequate instructional materials and have adequate training. And so in an upcoming meeting, there will be an item over $50,000 as we add campuses onto the work that Dr. McCurry is doing. So again, that's the board's role. But the reason that it's important the board went through the exercise is a lot of times you see a $50,000 plus price tag and it's a lot of money and you wonder, I hope I know what we're getting, what we're paying for. I mean, is it good? So I wanted you to experience that, to see that. And again, that's a key piece within the policy where the board has a critical role, which is its component of providing the funding and the training for materials and their rollout. Another component, of course, and you heard Mrs. Wallace say it, and she had it written in her presentation, in our theory of pedagogy, would be the people who do the talking, do the learning. And so that's a component in there. Also, a heavy consideration for the value of homework, that extension within the classroom makes the most sense, and intervention within the school day makes the most sense. And that if there are extension activities, they shouldn't be packets of busy work. They should be meaningful and they should be valuable to extending and emphasizing key points in the learning. We don't want students to fail because they don't turn in homework if they get the concepts. Our focus isn't compliance-based education. It's content acquisition-based education, outcome-based education. The other components in this, which will be an upcoming workshop with the board, is, all right, once you take the standard, once you break down the standard, once you plan the lesson, once you deliver the lesson, once you align the materials, once you use the materials, once you intervene with students, you assess them. And when that data comes out, what do you do when it's really good? And what do you do when it's average? And what do you do when it's not great? And so that's a component worked within here, because that's something that going into this last year to this year, what made a big change is as students were assessed, people didn't look at the data and go, well, this is the lowest group I've ever had, or this is a low group of students. That was off the table. The conversation was, this data isn't where we want it to be. We know it's within our control, planning, instruction, intervention, and so that's where we're going to work. We're going to take the whole mantra of excuses and this is a low group and, pobrecito, poor little guys, off the table. So within policy, we use the data to drive what comes next, because we believe that to set the standard in education, that means, as is in the student achievement core belief, all students should learn to the maximum level that they're capable and then some. The last piece of this, and I'll read it because it's an important piece, is expectation that all members of the teaching and learning division, principal supervisor, campus administrators, and instructors understand that student outcomes are a direct reflection of planning efficacy, and that every member of the district's instructional and supervisory team exists to support student learning and student success. That's our purpose. If we don't get student learning and student success, then we're missing the mark. And so with that, if you have questions, I'd love to answer them, and we have Mrs. Long who can answer them, as well as our principals who are taking on the role of instructional leaders. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Board?
I just have a statement. I'm always over here underlining nouns. And it's an informative theory. That's why I was giggling up here, because I caught myself doing that.
Sure.
At least you
I
learned
was
something.
underlining.
Hey, that's good stuff. So there you go. Now you know you still got it, Mrs. Wallace. You still got that teaching in you. So with that, I'll make the recommendation for board's consideration and approval of the addition and addendum to the theory of action of earned empowerment to include the theory of pedagogy, which is standards-based design.
All right, board, there's no questions or comments. I entertain a motion for item number 2.
I move we approve the addition of the theory of action plan.
You got a motion by Ms. Bass. Do I
I'll
hear a
second.
second? Second by Ms. De La Garza. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Okay, item number 3 is an amendment to the 25-26 stipend schedule.
Been to a group that formed kind of just organically at the junior high. 2 teachers there got a group of individuals, students together and formed the Hype Squad. So we would like to compensate them. They do meet several times a week for an hour or so each time they meet. And they do go and cheer, I guess you would say, bring their spirit to home games for football and basketball. So we would like to reward them with a small stipend for their efforts to lead this group at the junior high,
And this is the Hype Squad.
the Hype Squad.
Gonna ask for
You just bring the hype.
Okay.
You just hype it up and bring the hype. I like it. So with that, we'd like to make a recommendation for the board's consideration and approval of the amendment to the 2025-26 stipend schedule to include $500 for the sponsorship of the Hype Squad Spirit Crew.
And if I'm reading this right, it's annual or once a month. I mean, once a year, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Board, any questions, comments?
I will just say thank you to Mr. Parker and the 2 teachers who made this happen. I know there's been a lot of interest in it over the last few years, and so we're glad to see that happen. I've seen pictures, and I appreciate them stepping up to do that, so. I don't think $500 is hardly enough, but.
Any more questions? Now I entertain a motion for item number 3.
I so move.
Thank you. Got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, raise your hand. All right. Hype Squad, 6-0. Thank you.
Need t-shirts now.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, item number 4 is consideration and approval of library materials proposed for procurement.
Today to request your consideration and approval to approve the list of library materials for procurement. Ms. Levacy has made sure that those were made publicly accessible on September 17th, which met the requirement for the 30 days prior. She has given you should have a folder of those list of materials, and if you have any questions, she is here tonight and will be able to answer any of those for you.
and I know there will be a question about, did we include books in English and Spanish? Though I know there's a desire for more books in Spanish. There are, I believe, 80+ titles in Spanish. And as we take a look at adding more books in the future, we'll continue to add to that list, as we do have dual language at the Early Learning Center and at North. And at some point, when we find the right person, there is a plan in place to add dual language at 5th grade at the intermediate campus. No one here is really radical or crazy, so they're all some pretty tame titles.
Yes.
So,
I'm just thankful that we have a librarian to do that, because through leadership TASB, some of the other boards, they're the ones that are having to go through the list, and
Right.
I don't know how a board member can be, me speaking as a board member, I don't know how we can be special, have that specialty in knowing what book is good for our kids and what's in it and stuff, because I know we don't sit there and read all these books. Or age appropriate, everything that a librarian would know what to do. So thank you.
what's fortunate is Mrs. Levacy was a teacher for us for years, and so she also has that expertise and brings that experience to the table too.
Bigger cities don't have that librarian, so.
Yeah, that's a question I get a lot, is do we still have libraries and do we still have a librarian? So I'm thankful that we do, even though everything's on, so much is on technology these days. A good book in your hand is, I'm glad we still have that.
And that was one of the key pieces our instructional faculty pointed out, is they felt that where we began to slip is when we became so married to the flat panels, and teachers, our veteran teachers felt that they need to turn pages too, and that's an important component still within education. And so this is the commitment on the part of the board, with your consideration and approval of this item, to continue providing books, library books for students to check out, to turn pages, to read the text, to take time and not, stare at a digital device. There still is good in that. So that'll make a recommendation for consideration and approval of the item for library materials for procurement.
Board, any questions, comments? Got some interesting titles here. Anybody read The Grumpy Monkey School Stinks? Might add it to my library. But yeah, I'll entertain a motion for item number 4 at this time.
I'll think to approve of the library materials proposed for procurement.
Okay. Got a motion by Ms. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. De La Garza. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
We'll order an extra one for you so you can add the grumpy
Alright.
monkey to your library.
Grumpy Monkey School Stinks. Okay. Thank you.
Item number 5 is the 25-26 T-Test and T-Pest certified appraisers.
Request your consideration and approval. We have added 2 appraisers to our list. Mr. Tipton from the high school and Ms. Wood from the Early Learning Center have completed all the training that's necessary in September, and they are certified appraisers. So we would like for them to be on our list of people that can certify our principals and our teachers.
You see, you had two?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Tipton at the high school and Miss Wood. Miss Wood had previously had one, but she's been out of state, so
Okay.
she had to redo it a little bit.
All right, well, congratulations to them. Any comments, questions? All right. Entertain a motion for item number 5.
I so move.
Thank you. Got a motion by Ms. Bass. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Item 6 is consideration and approval for the sale of real estate property at Hillcrest Elementary.
This item is coming back. We are selling the property where Hillcrest Elementary sits, and we understand that the campus, the reason we went for the bond was to replace campuses that were in need of replacement. And one of the components that we had assured the community of is that we weren't going to leave attractive nuisances up. So if we replaced the campus, we weren't going to leave the old campus there for it to end up being a blight to the community. So we do have someone who will procure the property, take possession of the property, and demolish all derelict structures, remove the portables from the property with the intent to keep the section that was built in the late 90s and early 2000s for a purpose that would not be in competition with Plainview ISD. And so with that, I'll make a recommendation for Shannon Thrasher, Plainview, Texas, with your approval to take possession of the Hillcrest property with the intent to remove portables and to demolish all of the derelict structures. And so with that, the district then would not be required to pay $259,000 for any demolition. So it would be theirs, they would take care of that, and the district then would relinquish possession of it. So with your consideration and approval, we'd like to make that recommendation for the sale of real estate property to Mr. Shannon Thrasher.
Board, any questions?
The gymnasium was, is that in a portable, or was it in the school? Was it in a portable, or, no, it's in the school? In the new side or the old? It's in the newer side.
And that's the metal building, correct? Yeah, it's a standalone metal building.
Oh, okay.
But it's,
Yeah.
So you have the brick structure, kind of the redder brick, newer brick on the top of the hill, and then you have the metal building, much like what College Hill and Edgemere had, and I believe Thunderbird had one, so it's the metal building that was the gymnasium.
Any more questions, comments? Okay,
I know this has been in the works for a while, and those of us that toured it realized what terrible shape it's been in. So something that we need to act on, and hopefully will improve the looks of that area over there and get it out of the way of intruders coming in and
Yeah, we've had.
causing more damage.
for sure.
And I won't go into detail with Mr. Thrasher's intent behind it, but it's something good for the community. And so I can share about that much.
Okay, board, I entertain a motion for item number 6.
I so move.
Thank you. Got a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Ray. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
All right, I think that's our final item other than the consensus agenda.
We'll recommend the consensus agenda is presented. It is minutes of the board meeting of September 18th, 2025.
Any questions, comments on that? Okay. Do I hear a motion for consensus agenda?
I move
Got a motion by Ms. Salazar, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. De La Garza on the consistent agenda. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
If I may, one final board report, a very minor one. We'd like to thank the community for their support. The PD does have a suspect in custody for the break-ins on our campuses. And so we appreciate the community's support and the community's vigilance in this, and we will continue to, our officers will continue to monitor our campuses, and we are looking at, there may be future items we bring to the board on additional motion detection and other security measures. So just making the board aware that we do have CSI coming in this weekend to walk the campuses in certain areas where we feel that perhaps we need to enhance some of the security on those campuses to ensure that as soon as someone gets in, they don't have time to do anything other than to immediately depart. So that'll be something that we'll bring in a future meeting. But with that, that concludes the business of the district for this evening.
Okay, thank you again, Board. It's 6:58. Meeting adjourned.